Hello and welcome back. I say welcome back. It has been a while, but we are back with a bang. And as you've seen, we've updated the channel name to the Bisocci Guys. Don't ask where that's come from. We will make a separate video on that. But watch this space. We will be doing a lot of videos for football on obviously this channel and also the main channel as well, which will be a link in the description. Today, as you've seen in the title, we are doing our Premier League predictions. And yes, as you know, anyone that's been following us, we are both Leeds fans, so we're definitely not going to be biased. But I think we should get out of the way first, Kate, and might as well start with first. Leeds obviously win the league. I think that's without question.
45 goals.
Yeah, Patrick Bamford, 45 goals. I reckon Harrison will probably break another record for hitting the bar, though, along the way. But no, let's get into it. So, first we'll start off with 20th. So we'll start with the relegation spots. Who have you got to finish rock bottom?
I've gone for Fulham. Mate.
It's hard not to.
Yeah, I think managerial-wise, I like Parker. I think he's a decent manager, but I just don't think the squad's good enough. And Mitrovic carried them to promotion as it was. I doubt he'll be able to keep them up. They just haven't. They've made some good signings with that Areola, the keeper, and I think Anthony Robinson, but not enough.
They've got Knockout again. They made him permanent. Harrison Reed as well. They've also got him.
But again, I just don't think they've got.
There's not enough quality overall in the team, is there, for them to. I mean, at best, they might get 18th, and I mean, that's really their best, isn't it, for the season, what we're expecting. But then again, Sheffield United shocked us. Everyone thought they were going to be bottom, and look what they did. The one thing I'd say about Fulham is that they've obviously improved dramatically over the season. They're a solid team. They've come out. They've won the playoffs, and really, they kind of did deserve to beat Brentford in the final as well. And they're a pressing team now. They are trying to press more as a team, as a unit. And I think they will cause some upsets along the way. Just like you said, just in the squad depth there, unfortunately. And I'm saying with you there, 20th place, Fulham. Who have you got for 19th?
Fellow promotion, West Brom.
Yeah,
the other promoted team. I know it's rare. I don't think it's very many times where two of the three that went up go down. You saw last year, Villa and Sheffield United stayed up.
Yeah.
But I just think West Brom again, similar scenario to Fulham in how, they were one of our toughest games last year. You know, when they came to Ellen Road and even going to their place, I think they're a good pressing team. Got good players like Pereira and stuff, but again, they've just not. I've not seen the quality signings this year. I mean, they got that Diangana back from West Ham, which caused a bit of outrage in the West Ham area. But again, I can't think of any signings which made me think, wow, all right, yeah, they mean business.
That's true. I mean, they got Pereira back, didn't they? Which was obviously their priority, I think, coming into the transfer window, which they've done. They got Diangana, like you said, but again, they haven't got any signs that you think, wow, that's going to be the difference maker between them staying up and not. So I'm going to surprise. I think I'm going to surprise a lot of people with mine here for 19th. I've gone with Crystal Palace. Oh, no corker, eh? Why have I gone with Crystal Palace? It's because I'm a ballsy bastard, that's why. And I just feel, under Hodgson, they were a solid team last year defensively. They never really scored many goals. Now, I know that they could potentially get a Batshuayi on loan, which would help them a little bit.
Yesterday, yeah.
Batshuayi. They were the second lowest scorers in the league last year. Well, you say it was confirmed, did you say?
Yeah, he signed, yeah.
Has he signed? Yeah. I still feel as though there will be relegation candidates, whether it's 18th or 19th. I'll put him 19th for now. I know that they've signed that Eze as well. He could be a good sign. He's got a lot of potential. They've got Zaha. That's fantastic for them. And is it enough? I don't think it will be. I just got this feeling this year that Palace just aren't going to be with it. I've just got that gut feeling. I'm just going with a gut feeling on that one. It's a very controversial one, I know.
No, you argued it well. No,
yeah.
Fair enough.
Anyway, 18th then.
I don't even have Palace 18th, mate. I don't think.
You're thinking top six finish with Palace, aren't you?
Yeah, they're going to win league, mate. They're going to roll. last relegation place I've got for Aston Villa.
Have you? Yeah, I can see that.
They survived by the skin of their teeth last year, as it was, with that dramatic last-minute goal at West Ham and Grealish basically bailing them out.
Yeah, and the lucky, getting lucky against Sheffield United.
Against Sheffield United, where the goal, still don't know how VAR didn't it there, but that's a different matter. But as in, you look at it, and they're lucky they stayed up this last year. And I don't think, they've done well to hold on to Grealish. Well, so far, who knows? There's still a bit of time left.
80 million prize tag, though. It's unlikely enough for them, actually.
They've done well to keep him. And they've made the record signing in Watkins, but I don't know. I just don't think, similar to the other teams, I just don't think they've improved enough. I don't think they'll have strengthened their team enough. I think they're still going to have defensive problems. I think they're still going to struggle with goals. Like Ollie Watkins, he was good in the Championship, but he's either going to flop or maybe at best case scenario get 15 goals or something. I don't know. I just don't see it happening for him. And I don't think Grealish is going to be able to bail him out again.
Yeah, I understand that. I was on the fence with Aston Villa. I'll go through them, but I don't have them 18th surprise. I was very on the fence with Aston Villa with where to place them this year. But I've gone West Brom for 18th. Reason why I put them ahead of Palace, I think really it's going to be Palace or West Brom between that 18th and 19th spot. I put West Brom 18th though. Again, like we've already mentioned, they've got back the signings from last year, Diangana, Pereira, etc., etc. I feel like Bilic is a better equipped manager for the Premier League than Roy Hodgson. I feel like his style of play will hold West Brom well in certain games. I feel like they will get some good wins on the board. Probably early on, and I think they'll slip as the season goes on. And yeah, that's basically it, really. They're just a bog standard team, aren't they, West Brom? They feel like a yo-yo team now, don't they? They feel like they're going to be up and down, up and down.
For them, it's going to be key whether they can beat the likes of like Villa, Fulham, them teams around them, which I think they could do. You know what I mean? But I just don't think.
No, I don't think they'll have enough in the locker, especially with the signings they have. And they're still missing a striker, aren't they, really? They haven't really got any solid striker. I know the argument could be said with us, but we'll get to that when we get to first place. Anyway, 17th, mate. Who have you got there, Ketan?
The other claret and blue team, West Ham United.
Ooh, okay.
I think right now they are an absolute shambles of a club right now. You've got the club captain of 16 years or whatever coming out and basically slagging all the club off. And, it's a mess. You can speak, they've got good players. They have got some good players like Felipe Anderson, whatever, all that. But just something's not right. As in, it's like the players don't want to be there or, it's not clicking. I just don't think they have the ambition to push or they haven't made, you know what I mean? Like I said, Diangana going back to West Brom. That's one of their top academy prospects.
Yeah.
But I just think they're an absolute.
It is baffling.
I think it's more like we've seen it before with us when the off-field matters kind of thing affect the on-field performances. I think that's going to happen with them this season. I think they could struggle if they don't sort their ideas out, basically.
Yeah, I agree. West Ham are a funny team, especially it all seems to have gone downhill ever since they moved to the Olympic Stadium. It's what I'd say. Ever since they moved away from Upton Park, they've been blowing bubbles, but then bubbles have been popping pretty quickly, aren't they? Unfortunately for West Ham. But in 17th, I actually have Aston Villa. Like I said, I was on the fence with Aston Villa. I don't rate Dean Smith as a manager still. I think he's a Championship manager at best. I feel like. Like you said, he got lucky last season. I don't think he has the tactical know-how to really perform well in the Premier League. They were solid at the end of last season. They started to tighten up and be a bit more organised. I just don't think there's enough in their locker. So Aston Villa, 17th for me. And then with 16th, so we're kind of like thereabouts with each other, apart from obviously Crystal Palace, it seems. But I've gone with West Ham for 16th as well. And like you were just touching on there, they are a shambles. David Moyes, He's one of those managers that 10 years ago he was a very good prospect manager, hence why he went to Man U, and he just
It's all like after the lockdown. I think West Ham did have some decent results, like for example beating Chelsea at home, but then also being bog standard against Villa at home, and as you know what I mean, they're so hot and cold. And I think they're just a mess. Yeah.
yeah. No, they are. And originally, I actually had West Ham in the relegation zone. I thought maybe that's a bit harsh because they did actually start to do a bit better at the end of the season as well. I mean, they played well against the likes of Liverpool, and you could see they had the quality there. And I think their individual quality should be enough to keep them up next year. Hopefully.
I went Brighton for 16th.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Ben White at the back.
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, Ben White at the back, fine, but they got rid of Duffy to Celtic, who was like their leader kind of thing. I know you got Dunk as well, but I just think managerial wise, Potter not good enough.
I think with Potter, he's trying to play more attractive football at Brighton. Hence why, obviously, if you look at Ben White, he's kept Ben White because he knows under Bielsa, he's made him that ball-playing defender. So that's why he's got rid of Shane Duffy, in my opinion, is because he's one of those big brute centre-backs that whacks the ball up the field kind of thing more often than not. So I kind of see what you're saying. I do think that he's just trying to get players that match his system now, because obviously he's only been there a year. It does take a few years to get the players to fit your system, especially because the players at Brighton were quite the opposite of really how he wanted to play. They've got a decent attack force really as well. I mean, they've got Maupay up front. He did okay. I think he'll score double figures. But Brighton are... Again, it's always tough at this side of the table because any team, it's literally only a matter of a few points that determine the league. So I understand why I put Brighton there. I mean, last year, was it 14th to finish last year? 15th to finish last season, didn't they? So they finished 15th. And yeah, I can see why you put them 16th. It's going to be there or thereabouts, isn't it? So
anywhere between probably like 13th to 16th, you could change them all. Do you know what I mean? There'll be so few between them.
Definitely. Who have you gone with for 15th then?
Your favourite Palace, mate?
Have you actually?
Yeah. I don't know, because I thought, Batshuayi coming in, he's not going to set the Premier League alight, but he will get some goals. I expect him to get double figures. Eze, if he can get his final product down, like his final pass, his last bit of product and finishing, if he can nail that down, he is going to be a problem. He's going to be very, very good.
Definitely. I think he'd be a bit like the Balassi, that was at West Ham previously. Crystal Palace previously. Like the other winger to Zaha, because then when them two were together, they were firing, weren't they? And it could be one of those where it turns into that type of their wing play again. Is there obviously key this season? Got fast players. Especially Batshuayi as well up front. Would you say he's a clinical finisher, Batshuayi? Would you say he's clinical?
No, I wouldn't say he's ruthless clinical finisher kind of thing, but he does have that. He does have that positioning awareness. He gets in them areas, he'll grab a goal. It won't be anything spectacular, but if he gets you double figure goals and keeps you up, you don't really care, do you?
No, no, definitely not. Especially when you always feel like you're battling out just to be above the relegation spot, which is with certain teams, the ambition every season is just going to be to just stay in the Premier League. Crystal Palace are unfortunately one of those teams. 15th, I might surprise you here again. I've gone with Sheffield United. Now, obviously they had a great season last year, as everybody knows. They've surprised 99% of people, apart from Blade fans. And they finished 9th last season, just on goal difference. They haven't really made that many signs, I don't think. I'm just going to just double check now. I'm pretty sure they haven't really signed anyone.
Chelsea, the centre half, Ampadu.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't know if he'll go straight into the team. Do you think he'll start Ampadu? He's going to be one of those in and out players. I mean, they've signed Ramsdale, obviously, it's another keeper, but you can't really say that's going to make too much of a difference because Henderson was one of the best players last season. So if Ramsdale is there or thereabouts, then fantastic for them. A very good sort of young keeper. He's about 23 in the Ramsdale, I think, 23, 24. So he's lots of potential there. I don't think they'll have enough. Again, we saw them slipping at the end of last year. With teams starting to figure it out, maybe. Sheffield United are going to be similar to Burnley. They're going to be solid at the back, very well organised, like under Sean Dyche. It's just going to be those two teams now are always going to be just above the relegation spot. So they might even make a mid-table finish, like Burnley last year as well. Arguably surprised us. They finished 10th, just on the same points as Sheffield United. So them two teams, for me, are going to be always battling around the mid-table, maybe just above the relegation spot. That being said, though, who have you got for 14th?
I've got Newcastle.
Ditto. Like it. Yeah. Finally got one there. Yeah.
I was debating to have them actually lower down. Like I said earlier, that position from 14th to 16th, 17th, it could be any of them. You could any of them could have an off season. But I've gone for Newcastle because I think they've made some decent signings with Wilson and Fraser.
They have now, yeah. Only recently, though. So
yeah, I like Bruce as a manager.
Oh, do you?
I think he's a good manager. Well, not a great manager, hence I
he's a good manager.
Higher.
Yeah.
That's like you say, it's another team that, unfortunately for them, because they're obviously a historic club, but unfortunately for them now, it's just more about staying up and seeing what you can do, which is a shame. But I think they've still got like quality players like St. Maximum and John Joe Shelby and stuff like that.
John Joe.
Yeah, Lord Voldemort himself. But I just think they don't have the ambition. I think if at the start of this transfer window, if Ashley was gone and they got a new takeover in, we could be looking at a different Newcastle United with Kylian Mbappe leading the line, and then you're going right. Top four.
Yeah.
But again, similar to last year, I think they should be lower mid-table kind of area.
Yeah, I agree. Well, obviously, I agree. I've got the same spot as you, but it was a surprise. It was like a last-minute thing that Ashley even gave any money to Bruce, because originally we weren't even going to fork any money out for him, was he? Then obviously they come out with they've got Jamal Lewis from Norwich, which I'm surprised he never ended up at Liverpool. It's a shame in a way. I know he probably wouldn't have had as much opportunity at Liverpool, but you've got Callum Wilson. He only scored about 8 goals last year, didn't he? But obviously, it was a different team last year. We'll see. I think he's always got the potential to score 15 goals in a season, Callum Wilson. So he could do that. And he's got Ryan Fraser as well. So obviously that link there of them two linking up, assist goal. Not against Leeds, mind you, but against other teams. So if you got for 13th, then mate,
Burnley.
Oh, have you? All right.
Yeah, got for Burnley. Again, they're never gonna. Well, I don't think they're too good to get relegated. I think not in terms of they've got class players. They don't.
They're probably still the lowest or one of the lowest valuation of the team in the league.
The way Dyche is, it's just you've just got to respect it. You know what I mean? They just set up themselves to be so difficult to beat.
Yeah.
And they're barely. Do you know what I mean? That way, you know, okay, yeah, you can lose to the top 6 teams, like the big 6 or whatever, but they'll always pick up points against everyone else in the league.
Seem to, don't they?
That's how they always stay there. They always stay up. I mean, they never really had the ambition to push further up, but there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's Burnley. Like, they've still got some quality players like Chris Wood and Rodriguez and Charlie Taylor, Tarkowski, Nick Pope. Like, they've got some good players. That's why I've got them around the mid-table area. They'll be all right. Yeah.
No, that's not a surprise. I mean, again, it's going to be between you and me. It's either going to be there one place or thereabouts. Difference between you and me, I think it's going to be interesting in the season though when I embarrass you and I get most of them right. But for 13th, I've actually gone with Brighton. Right. I put them 13th, and I understand your points before. I think because Potter's now got some more players that fits his style. I feel as though basically I'm giving the expectation that he's going to succeed in how he wants his team to play. And I think they'll be 13th. So they've moved up a few spots from last year. So that is being optimistic, really. And like I said, we've got Ben White at the back. You know, he played under Bielsa. I think he's going to be coaching the players, to be honest with you, this season, Ben White, because he's got the know-how now. So 13th for me. Solid. Again, just in thereabouts. Could even finish 12th at a push, maybe 11th. But I can't see them finishing much higher than 13th, really. They're a solid team, but there's nothing special about them, really, is there, unfortunately?
No, yeah. And who have you got for 12th then, lad?
12th. I've gone for Burnley for 12th, so just one spot above you. Not far off. No real signings, but like you said, well organised, very difficult. The play similar to Sheffield United, ish, and they're just an underwhelming team to watch, but they just get the results, don't they? I mean, don't they struggle to fill the stadium as well? I mean, not they can fill it now, but just generally speaking.
Yeah.
So it's a shame because Burnley, if they're just what do Burnley need?
Some ambition, lad.
I mean, you can say it for most teams. Again, they're just hoping not to go down. And it's disappointing because you wish every team in the league had the ambition to be pushing for top four, don't you? But they just don't. That's a sad thing about football, isn't it, really? Yeah. Anyway, who have you got 12th?
I've got the Blunts, Sheffield United.
Oh, you've on 12, have you?
Yeah. I don't think they're going to have the same season as last year. No. Because they've already lost a key cog of that machine last year, which was Henderson. Ramsdale, yeah, he did all right at Bournemouth. I mean, who knows how we'll get on with the system at Sheffield United. But, yeah, I think kind of second season syndrome might hit a bit in how teams are obviously going to be more used to their start. They won't be caught by surprise by the underlapping centre halves, whatever's going on. Like, do you know what I mean? I think, and yeah, like you said, they're just similar to a Burnley now. They're going to set up hard to beat. It's a similar style, just different formations,
basically.
But yeah, I just think, the signings they've made, I don't think they've not shown the intent of, we're gonna try and make that extra step, that extra push to, because they were close last year to European football. There was times. Well, to be honest, they kind of bottled it after the restart.
Yeah, they did really. Yeah, they're in 7th work though, right?
I was expecting them this season, this transfer window, to say, right, we're going to spend this, and we're going to try and push. And they haven't done that.
I think it's been difficult for certain teams, though, with the COVID situation. I feel as though if they had fans and they're getting more gate receipts, then I think potentially they'd spend more. I think you could say that about a lot of clubs. You think Prem money, don't you? Think, they're going to have 200 million to throw every season, but it's a weird one. And I think, again, this season is just going to be one of those, right, just make sure we stay up the season, get all this like ridiculousness out of the way, and then move on to hopefully bigger and better things from there. I know
it's our neighbour of Leeds, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's still 11 places away. Have you got 11th?
Might surprise you, might not. I've gone for Leicester.
Okay, yeah.
So, kind of like my thinking behind this is they're going to have no Chilwell this year. And they haven't replaced. Well, they have replaced him, but I don't think he's going to be good enough. The lad from the Belgian player. I think they've got some key injured players, Evans, stuff like that. Players that are actually key to their team that are injured, and they just don't have the depth that they need.
No.
To maintain the standards they had last year.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the decline as well in towards the end of the season. I feel like it's been the same with Brendan Rodgers. So eventually kind of gets struggle towards the end of the season. Kind of get thought out a little bit, and he's obviously a very stubborn man, which is good because obviously we know Bielsa's stubborn as well. But he does change the formation, does change the system a little bit. Rodgers, from what I've seen, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Leicester fans, but I've never really seen him really adjust his system that much, especially in game when you're losing. It always seems to be, right, just make sure you're just more intense and you press a bit harder. It just doesn't always feel like he changes much up to mix it up and be more unpredictable. So I understand why you put them 11th. I haven't got them 11th, just to let you know. This might shock you. I actually had this team 8th originally, but I've thought about it and I moved them to 11th now. I've got Leeds United 11th.
Right.
I know you might think, oh, you pessimistic little bitch, but
I'm happy for us just to say.
yeah, but I mean, the thing is, we've obviously signed Rodrigo. Quality player. Amazing how nobody else went for him, to be honest with you, at that price. Especially because he was supposed to go to Atletico for 60 million last season.
Irish pub Valencia.
Yeah. Yeah, have you met him a few times? I had a few beers with him. Was it you that persuaded him to go to Leeds, was it?
Yeah, mate. Slipped him a few extra churros. He was right.
And obviously we've got cock, trying to say it so it's not offensive. But I did have us higher because I was more optimistic, with signs of potentially Rodrigo de Paul, Gvardiol, who looks like we should get him after he's played that Champions League qualifier game. But if we had de Paul right now, I would have moved us up a couple of spots. So I think him and Rodrigo, two very creative players, would really put the mark on the Premier League. But I'm kind of going with where we stand at the minute. I think 11th is a very good finish still. I do have a bet on with the other person on the channel, Brad, so that we will finish above 12th. So he thinks we won't finish higher than 12th. So there we go. So I couldn't go any lower than 11th anyway. Not that I would have done. Yeah. If you got for 10th then?
Got Southampton.
Same. Love it.
Yeah.
Southampton, yes.
Oh, cracking end to last year. I thought Danny Ings on fire. I like the coach, like energetic, as in I like this style of football.
Yeah.
I think they're a good team. I like Southampton are like one of those teams. Like, yeah, all right, don't really hate them or anything. Like, yeah, I like watching them play a bit.
Yeah, I mean they've lost a couple of players. Obviously Højbjerg was probably one of the main players they've lost, gone to Tottenham. But they've always done well at replacing players. Not that they've brought many people in. I mean, they've signed Kyle Walker-Peters permanently, which is kind of a swap thing, really, with Tottenham in a way. And that's Salisu, what was his name? I don't really know much about him, I can't really say. But I think, ever since that 9-0 drumming last season, they've obviously learnt the lesson, and I don't think we'll see that again from them. Danny Ings, will he have a repeat season? I think he can definitely score 15 or more goals. He's always been a good finisher. It was just a shame about his injuries previously with Liverpool. But he'll probably be on fire. Che Adams was...
they got his Premier League goal.
Yeah, he started to look like he could get a few this season. I think between them, to be honest with you, there's the opportunity for 30 goals just between them two. I think, anyway. So 10th is a realistic finish. You got them above Leicester, which will be interesting if that does come in.
Yeah,
Just gut feeling. Gut feeling at the end of the day. I'm guessing, I'm going to go for a guess here. Have you got Everton 9th?
No.
Have you not? You got them higher?
Got Leeds.
You got Leeds 9th?
Our boys 9th, yeah.
Oh.
I've kind of, I was in the same position as you, and I had them in that massacre of 11th to 13th, like that low mid-table kind of position. And then I was just thinking, you know what, probably just my Leeds heart took over. I was like, we're going to win league now.
Yeah, that's it, heart over brain.
I think this is the thing. So people could look at us and be like, oh, well, we've argued that Fulham hadn't made quality signings or whatever. I mean, fair enough, we've only made Rodrigo and Koch right now.
Well, I mean, I'll have you know we've made about 9 signings. But
between us and them teams is Bielsa. And I trust that man with my life kind of thing. I think also it'll be interesting to see what youth players he brings in. Like we saw towards the end of last season, Shackleton was on fire.
He did well in the pre-season games as well.
Drew came in, and Ollie Casey. As in, good to see them young boys involved. And also, like you said, the big one, Rodrigo de Paul. If we get him in, Because I think the difference whether we'll finish lower half, the difference between bottom half and top half is if we get another central midfielder.
Yeah.
I saw Draxler as well, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's a bit too much. But yeah, if we get DePaul, I think that'll be a perfect fit for us because he can play anywhere along that spine.
DePaul and Harry Wilson, they're two names that keep popping up at the minute. So
yeah.
Even Harry Wilson, he got, what was it, 7 assists last season for Bournemouth. So he's capable of it. Free kick specialist.
75 free kicks.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. But Bournemouth, yeah, I think so. If we get one of them, really, especially DePaul. I mean, DePaul did have the second most man of the matches in Serie A after Ronaldo. So, and even last year in the Copa America, he outshone Messi, he outshone Dybala, he outshone Aguero, he outshone all these players in the Copa America last year. And he's creative, he chips in with goals. We want to be a team. You look at probably Firmino, Liverpool. I always compare Rodrigo to him in a way. Firmino's not going to get you 20 goals plus, is he necessarily? He's the key, he's the heart of the team now, is Rodrigo. Everything goes through him. And again, as long as Harrison can chip in with some goals and Costa or whoever we're going to have on the right can chip in with some goals, I think we could fly this season, really. Because, in my opinion, we're a mix of the style Liverpool play and Man City.
Yeah,
in a way, because we're not all about possession like Liverpool, but we also like to press. And I think we take things from both teams really in terms of how we play. So it'll be a really interesting matchup. For those of you as well that are watching, we will be doing a Leeds preview. So one for the season, also one for the Liverpool game, which is tomorrow. So we better crack on with that. So yeah, make sure you watch that. It'll be very good.
I say I've got us for 9th, but honestly, anything above 18th, I don't care. Like, as in
No, I know, definitely.
Yeah.
9th, I've gone Everton.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though they've made some okay signings. I know they've brought in Allen, so they're obviously looking for more midfield. They've brought Allen in, who's done relatively well for Napoli. And, of course, James Rodriguez, which, for him, I don't know how well he'd do, really, because he's always performed well under Ancelotti. But I think he'll do okay. I think he'll probably get about 5 assists and about 3 goals is what I'm going to predict for him this season. I don't think he'll set the world alight, but I think he'll be a good enough player to make a more of a difference than whoever else have had.
That midfield to make up for it.
Yeah, I know, yeah. But they got him on a good deal, 20 million, wasn't it? Was it 20 million? Yeah, 20 million. And then obviously they've got Nkunku and Decore. So, again, I could see them doing quite well. They could push for it. Ancelotti, again, is he an outdated manager? They struggled a bit last season. I know he didn't have the players he wanted because he'd all just come in midway through the season kind of thing. But they'll do well, but they won't set the world alight again for me. So if you got in 8th?
Yeah, I've got the Toffees, Everton. So one position off you, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think Ancelotti, at least now he's got the players in that he wants. And I think, they could even push for Europe, as in top 6.
You just think defensively for Everton.
That's it. That's why I've got them. That's why I've got them at 8th. I just don't think they're Michael Keane. No, it's just not good enough.
No, it's not now.
Yerry Mina and stuff. Yeah, I think if they sign another centre half or another few a defender or so before the end of the window, then maybe.
They've got a chance, but it's always about time how long will it take to embed all these players as well. But for 8th, I've gone for Leicester. So there's a three positional gap there between you and I. I know there's not been any real signings. They've obviously lost Ben Chilwell. I think they'll have another strong start to the season. And then I think, again, they will fade off after Christmas time probably. I don't know if they'll start as strong as they did last season, but I think that they'll be there or thereabouts between 8th and 11th, like you said, maybe. I can't see them getting Europe this season. I think it's too much for them now, especially with no real signings and losing a really good left back in Ben Chilwell.
Got European football this year as well, haven't they? Because they finished 6th.
Yeah, and they've got European football, and they don't have the squad depth, do they? Really?
That's why I had
them for them. Yeah. But for seventh, though, I'll tell you, I've gone for. I've gone for Mikel Arteta's Arsenal for
Ooh,
seventh. Right,
yeah,
again, surprise some people.
do that,
Yeah, I know some people probably have them fifth or sixth. I'm thinking most people will have Arsenal. Reason why I put Arsenal seventh, though, is I know that they have obviously made some decent signings. You know, they've got Willian and they've obviously signed some centre backs in Gabriel,
yeah.
and whatnot. The thing is, if any of those get injured, they're stuck with David Luiz at the back, and we know he gave away 5 penalties last year, which I think was a record. I believe it was. I think he broke the record for most penalties given away in its season. So if any injuries happen at the back, especially centre back, I think Arsenal are pretty much screwed for the season. If that's the case, I think they might even finish lower than seventh, to be honest. I think David Luiz is that bad. But I've got Willian. He's a strong player. I don't know if he'll start every game. He'll be one of those on squad rotational players. He'll start some games when the right wing is not playing the best and he needs a bit of a rest, maybe. But still a strong signing. And they've obviously got Danny Ceballos on loan again, which was good for them. They've tightened up the back, which is where they really needed to. We know that. The attacking force is good. We've got Aubameyang. He's going to score probably 20 goals again or more. Eddie Nketiah's there. Obviously, he's been really good since coming back from Leeds. The Bielsa effect, that is. And he'll chip in with some goals. It'd be interesting to see how many games he starts. He started quite a few last year, which was surprising. It's like, how could he not start in the Leeds United side of the Championship, but starts in the Arsenal side? It's baffling at times. But that's because we have so much quality in our Leeds United squad now. You know, obviously, it would be a struggle for him. But yeah, I've got Arsenal seventh. I'm going to guess you've got Wolves seventh. Yep. Give me your reasons.
I know they broke the transfer record for the young lad, the Fabio Silva.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, never heard of him.
Have you not?
As in, until Wolves were linked for him, I still don't even know who they signed him from.
I think he'll be a sub player. You know, I think he's 18, going on 19. He's obviously got a lot of potential.
It's always when a young kid gets that kind of price tag, it's gonna go one or two ways. They're either just gonna
I see what you say. He's Portuguese as well, though, which seems to be the way for him. He always seems to get Portuguese players. I mean, half the squad's Portuguese, so it could be good that he might fit and adapt quicker just because of that.
Yeah.
So who knows? But I think he'll be a sub player, make an impact off the bench.
Again, I think Wolves similar to last year. That's why, but also you have to remember they lost Doherty. That's why.
I have still got Connor Cody. I think
Doherty was like key for a lot of their goals. Like he contributed a lot of goals and assists.
Yeah.
I think considering they lost that, I don't feel like they've replaced it adequately. That's why I don't have them improving into the top 6.
Was it last year?
I think they could do that. They've got. I rate Nuno as a manager. I think he's a great manager, and I like some of the players they got, like Neves and stuff, class players. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully for the Wolves fans, they could kick on and mix it up in the top 6.
Yeah, I mean, I have got them 6th, and I mean, like you said, they have lost Doherty. I mean, he only went for just under 15 million, and I take it as though that was because he was probably in his last year of his contract. Perhaps I'm not too sure about the transfer details around it. You have got to remember they have also lost their key player in Helder Costa permanently to Leeds, so big massive loss to Wolves there. So they won't be getting top 4 anytime soon now. But I similar to you. I've always said when we come up to the Premiership, which is obviously now, that Wolves will be one of the teams I'm least looking forward to play against. They're a very weird, difficult team to play against with a style. It's one of them styles that I think Leeds are always going to struggle against. You look at Wolves against Man City and Liverpool. The struggle against Wolves, and we play similar style in between Liverpool and Man City. I think we will find it difficult against Wolves. I think it'll be tougher than the Spurs. It'll be tougher than the Wolves, and it'll be tougher than potentially Chelsea. Well, we'll see anyway. But no, I've got them in 6th place. So you've gone either. I think you might have gone Spurs 6th.
No, I've gone for Arteta's boys, Arsenal.
Have you?
Yeah, I think they've made the signings that I think are going to improve their squad. And like you said, if they get injured, they've got David Luiz. But I mean, to be honest, you can make that argument with any team in the league. If Van Dijk gets injured for Liverpool, what's going to happen there? They won't even get top four, mate.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
But
especially when
I
they
think
lose first game of the season.
I think you have to remember as well that they've got Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe. It wasn't great last year. He showed glimpses. You know what I mean? There was times where he showed glimpses of he's a player. Even the young lad,
Yeah.
was it Martinelli or the Brazilian?
Yeah, I know you. Yeah, the left winger in there.
Yeah, the wing. He looked class at times. Nketiah's been on fire. Saka, I like their attack. It's good mix of youth, and I like Arteta as a manager because he won silverware with that team. Mad.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, very organised at the back. Obviously, he had a strong start with Arsenal, dipped a bit, and then became stronger again at the end of the season. They overturned Man City and Liverpool, haven't they, recently? So
Yeah.
they did kind of get dominated in those games a little bit. I mean, they did ride. I know you all need a bit of luck in football, rub the green. They did get that a little bit at times. It was the end of the season. It was pre-season. I don't know how much you can look into that, really, because Man City had nothing to play for at that point. Liverpool, when they played them in the Community Shield, it was a friendly. I mean, I know they beat them in the league as well, didn't they? Again, Liverpool had already won the title, and they just seemed to be in holiday mode. So I don't know if I can really look into it. Time will tell. I could be wrong. I think it was just because of the situation as to why they beat them. I think now we're into a new, fresh start of the season. I think it'll be similar to when they had that dip just before the lockdown. I think that's how they're going to perform throughout the season. They'll be thereabouts. They'll beat some decent teams. They might beat Chelsea. They'll struggle against Liverpool and Man City. I don't think I'd be very surprised if they beat them at all, to be honest with you. So that's my thoughts on Arsenal. But for fifth, I've gone for Spurs. I don't know if you're in agreement with that. You're keeping tight lips on that, aren't you? Oh, you gone top four, have you? Oh, Jose Mourinho fanboy over here. So I put Spurs fifth then because, and mainly it's because I've watched the Spurs All or Nothing recently. It's probably influenced it a little bit, but I actually had them a little bit lower down. And when I thought about it, and I know there is a lot of work to be done. Mourinho's style is different to Pochettino's, as we've seen. He's a results man. Not many real signs. Obviously, they've lost Jan Vertonghen, Kyle Walker-Peters. They're the main ones. They've let Skip out on loan, and Wanyama's gone on the free, but he didn't really do anything for them anyway. They've brought in Højbjerg, good signing, solid signing. Will he be like the Schneiderlin when he went to Man U? Will he perform? Time will tell again. But I mean, the signing of the transfer window, though. Joe Hart, come on.
Yeah.
He's obviously going to be replacing Hugo Lloris. We know he's heading off somewhere now. Competition's too much for Hugo. Where will Joe Hart be? Will he be? He won't be. Will he be second or third choice? I'd be third choice, won't he? Gazzaniga.
I'm not gonna lie, probably third.
Yeah, he must be third choice. He must be going there for a payday. I can't understand how he's ended up at Spurs. He's had a weird career since he's left Man City, hasn't he? But I put them fifth. I feel as though it's his first proper season. They'll be solid. They'll be tough to beat. He'll get some results. I can't see them getting top four. If they do, fair play, because they're up against some real strong teams in the top four now, in my opinion. But who have you gone for fifth then?
Stop crying, Frank Lampard.
Are you putting fifth, have you? That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
How come?
They've made some decent signings. I think Werner and Ziyech are
Havertz.
two very good signings. Havertz, we'll see. He's still young. I mean, he's got the potential. I mean, he's come in there and he's already blown out their wage budget, which says a lot about a player, I guess, when he's coming in and asking for triple of what N'Golo Kante
yeah.
End.
He's pushing his luck. But they have brought in Thiago Silva and Ben Chilwell, so they have tightened up the back. You know, with left back was an iffy position on centre back.
Mm-hmm. But I just think, first off, Thiago Silva's already injured. He's as in Chilwell. Sorry, he's already injured.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. If they've made the signings that they needed. As in, technically, they needed to improve their attack. They've done it. They needed to improve their defense. They've done it.
They've improved
but
everywhere. They've done all positions, I think.
they've still got the same shit manager. And yeah, it's simple as that. He's not good enough. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't. He did it. He did all right. He got fluky last year, and you know what the thing is? I think as well. This is the first time he's had the power of and the ability to sign all these players through the budget. I just think now he's gonna kind of turn his back onto that youth, the youth that did so well for him, with the likes of do you think Reece James and all them, like Tamori gonna start ahead of Thiago Silva? Is he like?
so you think
Tammy
it's going to be
Abraham,
the new Jose Mourinho like that when he went to Chelsea, where
yeah,
he never played any youth products. He all went out on loan, all 50 of them every year.
oh, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, I understand your points. Because they have made a number of signings. It is the question. To be fair, they did get 50 million from Morata, which was quite impressive that they got that for Morata. It was a loan to buy one that they got him for, so that was impressive. They did well there. But I'll come back to Arsenal. I'll come back to Chelsea because I do have them a little bit further list than you. But have you done? Yeah, fourth now, isn't it? We've got.
Yeah.
Have you got fourth? You got the scum.
No, I've got Spurs.
You got the scum third. Right, sorry. I'll refrain. Right, you got Spurs fourth.
Yeah. I think Jose Mourinho was very unlucky last year. They struggled last year because of how injury hit they were. That was just a freak year. Like we said,
That's true.
it could happen to any team. Do you know what I mean? It could happen to any team and it ruins your season. Harry Kane's out for half a year.
They got him back. It was lucky because of COVID that they got him back in a way, though.
And then, at the same time as well, they lost Sonny and all that stuff. But, I think that's not going to happen again this year. As in the chances of that happening again is that'd be.
There's a lot of injuries last season for teams in general, though. You look at Bournemouth, look at Norwich as well.
Yeah, and I like Doherty. I think he's going to add a lot to the defence. Also, from not just defence, but an attacking standpoint. I think he's going to contribute goals and assists. So they're not just going to be relying on Harry Kane. And I think
I get that. I can kind of see. I mean, where did they finish last? Was it? Where did they finish last season? Actually,
I don't even know, mate.
It was sixth. Yeah, sorry, I did get Europe, didn't they? Yes, they got the squeezed sixth place, didn't they, on goal difference to Wolves. Yeah. So, yeah. So, I mean, that being said, I can see fourth, fifth round there. Fourth was a bit of a surprise for me. I have actually gone with the scum for fourth in this instance. Reasons being, they've not really made any sign. I mean, they've got Danny Van Der Beek.
Yeah.
I can't see him doing that well in his first season. I just don't see it. They've got so many midfielders as well. He's sure he's going to be a bench player, and he might come on if it's an injury. Or I don't think he'll primarily be a first starter on the team sheet. They've not really brought anyone in. I know Sancho's on the cards. If they bring Sancho in, I don't think it will change my thoughts on where they'll finish. I think it'll be fourth regardless. No. They're a funny team, Man U. Obviously, when Ollie first came in, Ollie at the wheel and all, went on that 10-game unbeaten streak, and they fluked it past PSG, didn't they? Yeah. And then they dipped that season, and then last season they up and down again. They're just a weird team. They never seem to absolutely smash teams. They beat Man City as well at times. It's how they go and lose to bloody
with McTominay playing
Burnley or something, and and then all of a sudden they're just beat. They're just such an inconsistent team with the teams they beat. So I've got them fourth. They have lost Alexis Sanchez, so that's a big loss for them. A player that wanted to leave after his first training session under Mourinho. So yeah, I've got them in fourth. So who have you got third?
I went for Scum third. I mean, to be honest, that Scum, Spurs and Chelsea, I was just debating about that for most of it. As in, that could easily change.
That's fair enough.
Third, purely because I just think they're going to get about 25 penalties again. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, that is
Like,
very true.
it's gonna happen again. Like they're gonna, as in, yeah, they've got some decent players. Like Fernandez was amazing, like a revelation last year. I think it was only De Bruyne got more goal contributions, kind
That's
of thing.
right. That's true.
So getting A class, I think De Gea might actually be better this year now that he knows that there's actually a decent second keeper
Yeah.
in Dean. Harry Maguire's probably still gonna be locked up in Greece, like that. But I think that's the only reason I'm not sure about them is their defense. You know,
That's a fair
like
point.
that's gonna be a
Yeah.
problem for them
It's always
again.
been there, probably. I mean, they keep trying to strengthen the attack. It's not like they haven't scored
Yeah,
that many
I
goals.
think you've still got the likes of Rashford, Marshall, even Greenwood was,
Coming
like
on.
you could have a big season.
Yeah, the defense, but they've tried strengthening defense and they've always done it wrong. I mean, they've got Wan-Bissaka, they've got Maguire. They've also decided. I mean, if you look over the years, they signed Lindelof, Rojo, and
So, yeah.
so many people, but they just can't. Again, I don't rate Ollie as a manager. I
No.
I don't know who I rate more between Ollie and Frank Lampard, to be honest with you. You know, I know that we're kind of biased being Leeds fans, and Lampard moans a heck of a lot for a manager. I know some managers like that, but Lampard, it definitely does take after Mourinho like that. But I do think Lampard has the potential to be a better manager than Ollie, and that's why I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt and putting Chelsea third.
Right.
Mainly because the signings they have got Vern up front. They've got Abraham is Giroud still there by
Yep.
the way. They've still got Giroud as a third, or even second.
They've got the depth now, yeah.
Yeah, they've got because they can put Abraham on for. They've got different like qualities between each striker there, and all the signings they've made. That's the sticking point for me. See, how quickly will they gel?
Yeah.
That was my sticking point with Chelsea. Is that look, if they gel quickly, they could really be, not on the case of Liverpool, Man City, but they could definitely retreat the gap a little bit between the three teams, should I say?
Yeah.
Because the signings they made are quality signings, no doubt about it. It's just how quickly did they gel? They've all come from different leagues. They've all come from.
It's probably helping the fact that for the first few weeks of the season, Ziyech, Chilwell are out, Thiago Silva's a down. So that kind of might help him a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not shifting the team about too much.
That's true. No, you make a valid point, and even if they come off the bench, could make an impact if they're struggling. They could make the difference in the game. But I've put them third for that reason. Frank Lampard, he's okay. He did well last year. I know they went from third to fourth, but obviously they had the transfer embargo. He was using young players.
Yeah.
The football was okay. It was very end to end with teams generally. Like they struggled defensively and pressing wise at times. So again, whether these players will make that difference. If they don't make that difference, the gap between Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea will be a lot tighter. And I think the gap between third and fourth will be a lot further as well. If these players do gel quickly and obviously recover from injury quickly as well, and get into
no more messing about. The moment
who's top.
The moment the fans have all been waiting for.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll say it at the same time. For top place. You ready?
That's right.
After one, say it. Yeah.
All
right. 3, 2, 1. Leeds, Liverpool.
City.
You got Man City, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. You got Pep Guardiola. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think they were unfortunate last year with injuries. Having to play Fernandinho centre half for half it because Laporte was out and stuff.
But that's kind of their fault, though. They didn't have depth at centre back, and that was their own mistake for doing that. In my
now
opinion.
they've signed Nathan Ake, who I think is a good signing. I think
Yeah. 40 million. Is he worth 40 million?
No, but he's
he had to be signed, kind of thing.
He's been doubled because everyone knows it's City. Like they're gonna.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think they will be a much better prospect this year.
Right.
And not only that, I think it's more the fact I don't think Liverpool are capable mentally to win the league twice in a row.
Well, I disagree with you there. I think Liverpool are stronger mentally than Man City, in my opinion. I think the togetherness of Liverpool is better than Man City. I mean, you've got to look as well. They've lost David Silva. They've lost Leroy Sané. And again, just like Wolves, with their winger. They've lost Jack Harrison as well for another year on loan. So, for me, they have, like you said, signed Ake. That's great. You know, they've got another centre back which they desperately needed. They've got Ferran Torres. I don't think he'll come.
Ferran's a very good player.
He is. He's not Rodrigo, mind you, yet. But I just feel as though, look, if Benjamin Mendy comes back and he comes back into the form he was when they first signed him, they could be very, very strong again and finish top. Where I was torn between Man City and Liverpool, I did have Man City top, and then I was thinking, oh, do I do that? And I thought even with Liverpool, I haven't really signed anyone apart from that Samaka, whatever his name is, that left back. But I just think mentally, they're such a tough team to beat, Liverpool. Very, very difficult. And I think they will do what Klopp said. I think they will attack the title. I think they'll hit an early bump in the road against Leeds on Saturday. But other than that, I think they'll do well in the league. And I think, though, that in terms of points, top total points this year won't be more than 90. I had it in my head between 86 and 90 for the to win the league this year for the total points. I think the quality of the league is obviously a lot higher. I think even the teams I say the teams promote. I mean, Leeds are the only team really that've got any quality that has come up so far. And West Brom are okay. Fulham are okay. There's not enough there between them. West Ham are, like you said, they're a bit of a mess.
I think it's more of the fact that I don't think Liverpool are going to do as well as last year, and I don't think City are going to do as bad. So it's going to be, I think either way, hopefully we're going to have a much more interesting title race.
I do. I think it would be similar to the year before, where it was 1 point between Liverpool and City. Yeah. It'd be something along the lines of that. And I think Chelsea, if they gel and perform well, I think they could only be about 7 or 8 points behind the top two, to be honest with you. My personal opinion, I don't think there'll be as many points in it. I think there will be about 4 losses for the top 2 teams this year, without a doubt. If it happens again where they're hitting 100 points, and it's just getting ridiculous, isn't it? At that point, it's like everyone else might as well just try and find a new league to play in.
I think the key thing actually that made me choose this is that Man City Liverpool game after they won the league. They absolutely smashed them, and it's like, yeah, they can say, "Oh, Liverpool already won the league. They had nothing to." City had nothing to play for either.
But they had the point of, like, they wanted to show that they were the better team, though, in the way. So they did have something to play for in that aspect.
All I'm saying, I don't think Klopp sent them out there to get absolutely.
No, of course not. Of course not. I'll try and find the game now. 4-0. It was 4-0. Did you watch the game?
Yeah.
Did you feel like it was 4-0? I didn't feel like it was 4-0. I thought City were clinical.
Yeah. I thought it could have been about 8-3.
I mean, yes, City were clinical. They were 3-0 up at half time. I feel like they were just clinical on the day, and that's the difference with top teams. It's, you know, they have the players. They had De Bruyne, Sterling, Foden score in the first half. And I mean, you look at that and you just think, well, it's all quality just there in general.
I think we'll come back in a year's time and just be off our tits because Leeds are going to win the league.
Yeah, they feel like beer flying everywhere.
That's it, yeah.
And there we go. That's our Prem predictions. So you've heard it here first. Leeds probably battling out for the top 2, but that to be seen. We do have them in 9th and 11th respectively. You had 9th, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, 9th and 11th respectively.
9-11, and 9-11 as well.
I'm not putting that in the video. But yeah, I think we'll call it a do there. So thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you agree with some of our points. I know it was a bit of a longer video than I was anticipating myself, but we went into a lot of depth there, you know, from 2 experts of football in the Premier League. So yeah, thank you, and take care, and we hope you enjoy Leeds beating Liverpool tomorrow.
That's crazy.